Hello, Gemini. Thank you very much for tuning into your love read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Daily Tarot by Renata Lechner. For the supportive oracle cards, the Magical Spell cards by Lucy Cavendish. Alright, already shuffled. Do relationship first, single second. Oracle cards come out as needed. Okay, so you got peace at the bottom. You do have peace at the bottom. Okay, so peace. Sometimes, we got to give in a bit to get what we really want. Really. What is this card over here? Yeah, okay. Well, this is going to be an interesting ending. I can already see this. I'm getting, again, sometimes you have to give in to get what you really want. So, I'm getting here, you got the Judgment card with the Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is your challenge card, and the Judgment is what, I feel like you're the one approving the situation, if I should say that. And the challenge is, I feel like what you're going into or what you're agreeing to with your partner, it's a long-term situation. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's almost like building a house. It's almost like I feel like that's what you're doing. Like you're agreeing to build a house and buy the land, and you're it's not even, it's and you're gonna build it with you and your partner, and maybe a couple other people are going to help you, but it's one of these situations where, due to resources, it's going to take a while. It's this is years. This is going to take years is how it feels. That's how it feels. So, take your situation and add it in as necessary with a grain of salt, of course. But you're approving this. I'm getting the Judgment you're approving this. Yes, I will do this. And I feel like it's, again, sometimes you have to give in to win. Sometimes you have to, it's the lose to the win. It's to get what you really want, you have to give in. Give something up that you don't want. Something like that. The Ace is making me feel like this is that's the challenge. This is something you're going to be locked into for quite a while. Now, this is interesting because your partner has this card as the challenge card. It's the Nine of Pentacles. They're wanting this. They're thinking this is a good idea. You're going along with it. And this is something they really want. It's if you're doing the whole house thing that we said, this is exactly how they want it, because they're we're going to be able to put the walls and position the house and everything the way we exactly want it. This can be perfect. They don't care that it's going to take a long time. They don't care at all. They actually like that. They like the slow build feel is what I'm getting. They seem to love it. They're coming forward a lot happier than they actually are, though, is what I'm also getting. Because I feel like they're nervous a little bit. They're nervous that they know even though you're agreeing to it, you seem to be a little reluctant to that. And I feel like they're acting like it's not an issue, but it does. They know. They're aware of it. And they're settling in for the long haul, and they're nervous about how you're going into this because they know that you're not over the moon about it. Even though the end result, yes, you're all about the end result. That's cool. But the trip getting there, it's kind of like walking from New York to California, walking, and maybe once in a while taking a horse or a burro. Is it a burro or a donkey? A donkey probably be better because it's taking a long time, and it's even if you use a horse, it's still going to take quite a while. It's not going to be, it may even if you take a horse, I don't think it would be in the same week. That's all I'm saying. So you're kind of ooh, it's quite the trip here. Now, I do feel like you're winning out in the long run, and I get that. But what is happening here? Because the next thing I see your partner is kicking it forward. Or are you? No, they're kicking it forward, but you're supporting this. your partner has got the Eight of Wands. You have the King of Wands, but oddly enough, when it comes to this situation, your partner's kicking it forward. I see you getting right involved in like get it okay, kind of like the horses are watered. Here we go. Like they're saying, all right, I'm on. Let's go. They're starting off on the path, and you're like, that's right. Let's go a little faster. And we got this to do. And we got that to do. It's like I feel your partner kicking it off with the Eight of Wands, but I feel you immediately. You're taking charge and almost like getting yourself to be into it. You're trying to force yourself to go forward. So you're taking charge here. The King of Wands, though, the way this happens is very interesting to me because your partner kicks it off. Like, all right, let's go. And you start going down the road and you're like, all right, wait a minute, I'll drive. And, and here we go. That's how it feels. They're like, all right, car's ready. Let's get in the car. And you're like, yep, I'm going to drive, though. Let's go. Like, they're kicking it off, but you're taking control. I don't think that's going to be the permanent thing the whole way. But the reason you're doing that is you're just trying to get yourself engaged in it. You're trying to get yourself invested in it. You're like, yes, I got to do this. I want to do this. So you're forcing yourself to go forward full board is what I'm getting. Now, this is you got the Chariot as your spiritual card. Like you're definitely, once your partner kicks it forward, you're like, all right, they kick the ball in the field and you run out and take control of it and drive it downfield. You're like, let's do it. First goal mine. I got the first goal. Let's keep going with this game, though. We just started. You're trying to force yourself to be into it. And you do like the end result. You're very much about the end result. It's just you're trying to get yourself engaged in the trip to get there. Your partner, they're letting you have that. They're not bucking you at all. They're not bucking the system or whatever you want to say. You want to do that? You want to take control? I feel like they'd prefer to be the one in the driver's seat at this moment. But they're like, you know what? Let me, I feel like they want to be the one in the driver's seat is the thing. They want to be the one pushing it forward. But I feel them like, as long as you want to drive forward, as long as you want to call the shots, they're just letting you do that because they realize why you're doing this. They understand that. You're showing support. You're trying to get yourself into it. They want to be the ones calling the shots, but they're realizing if they let you just do this and they don't stand in your way and they don't cause any type of hubbub about, who's going to be in charge right now, it'll be fine. And they seem to also see it like there'll be a time when you want to step back and let them take the wheel. And they're like, my time will come. This will work out better. They're holding back. They're letting you just do what you want to do. They really do. But they really do want to be the one in control is what I'm getting. And they got the Hermit with the strength. Like when you hand over the wheel, for example, you're saying, all right, I've driven enough. Your turn to drive. They've been thinking about it the whole time. And they know exactly what they want to do. For example, if you went off course like by a state or so or a couple towns, they're going to get this right back on course where they want it to go. Like they've been thinking. They're going to be thinking. They're going to hold themselves together, but they're planning what they want to do. As soon as you hand the wheel over to them, they're going to move it right where they want it to go. I don't see that being a problem for you. I don't see it as a problem at all. Especially with Gemini energy. I've seen this happen before, especially when they're working with more of a, people who just seem to have their own drive about where they want to go. I've seen Gemini move things off just far enough just so that like the trip back into the normal pattern will have a lot more of what they want. Like Gemini's really smart and they know, like, they see things coming down the line. They know where people are probably going to go. They get that. And I feel like what you're doing is like you might move this off course just enough so that the trip back onto course just amuses you enough to keep you engaged. I hope I'm explaining this well. Because I feel like if you were going from A to Z, and it was a direct line, you're taking it over like B, C, just so you have to come back to D, E, F, and hit all these other points on the way back. Like, I hope it's making sense. I feel like a Gemini would understand what I'm saying with this. Like, you are moving things around purposefully. You might take things off course just enough, and when they're putting it back on course, the path they're going to take, you know what path they're going to take. And you've set things up you want along that route. Like, you're very smart. And I feel like it's good. You're keeping a little bit of liveliness into it, a little bit of flavor, a little extra flavor. I think it's good. I hope that makes sense because I feel it's good. If I'm saying it correctly, it should come off as a good thing. Now, they're going to come back in. I'm seeing when they take over, you still have the Lover's card. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You definitely know what you're doing. And they're very happy moving things back on course to where they want it to be. You're enjoying the trip. You're enjoying how they're putting it back on course where they want it to be. You know what you're doing is what I'm getting. You're enjoying it. They're enjoying it. I am noticing this, and I'm trying to figure out how that's connecting because it's very interesting. I feel like the reason this is showing up, but I'm going to show you in 1 second here, is that you do quickly get bored of the situation. I think that's what's happening. You're getting bored of it. Even the trip back on course, and I feel like you got the Ten of Swords here. I feel like you're getting bored of it, and you're just kind of like, oh my God. We're 1 day out, and this is a 2-month trip. We're 1 day out. Literally, it's like you're 1 day out, and you're like, there's 2 months. Like, one day down, 60 to go. Just going by, like, it's 30, 31 usually. Doesn't matter. And you're just kind of like, oh boy. Like, you amused yourself long enough, and you are having fun with it. You did like it. But I feel like it's like that wake-up call. Like, 1 day down, 60 to go. Gulp. But you're cool with it. You're not letting your partner know. You're not bringing an issue up about it. The thing is, you do seek success. This is very Gemini for me. Because I feel like you're like, oh Lord, it's so much longer. But you're like, end result. End result is your success. And you're like, I guess wish we were there. When we get there, it's going to be so worth it. You know, when these 2 months are up, it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be worth it. But for the love of God, it's 60 more days. That's how I feel like this is saying. Like, oh my God, I don't know how I made it through the first day. How am I going to keep going 60 more? But you're like, but that's okay. Because when you get there, you're like, it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it. You're very graceful about it. You're doing everything in your power to not express how you're feeling. If you're one of those Geminis that like your face says 1,000 words, I don't think Gemini usually has that problem. I don't think that's a Gemini issue, but once in a while I come across one that does. Where your face says the whole story. It's going to be hard. But for the majority of you, I feel like you're not going to let your partner know how you're really feeling. You're going to center on the positive. You're going to be very graceful about it. It is going to work out. It is. But I feel like it's kind of like the trip up the hill, like, oh my Lord. 1 day down, 60 to go. That's okay. That's how it feels. Anything else with this? I think that's fairly good. I think we're done there with that. I think that's, I mean, you know, it's kind of like when you finally reach the destination. It'd be cool. It'd be good. It'd be well worth it. I just feel like it's just the trip there. It's just kind of like, it's not painful bad. I just feel like it's boring bad. It's just kind of like, oh my God, I got to do this again. Tedious. I would say tedious. I don't think it's that bad, but as the Gemini's watching, if that hits with you, I mean, you know exactly how you feel about that. That's what I'm getting. So let's go into Gemini single. Single Geminis. What do we have for single Geminis? Empowering information for the single Gemini with cards flying out of the deck. That's great. They're face down. We'll find out what they are. Something's out of focus here. Something's a little different. All right. You might have like an unexpected upset is what I'm getting. Especially you got the Five of Wands and your thoughts and the way these cards are going down. Things are... I feel like you're getting into something when you look back on something after the fact. I feel like you're looking back at something, like something that already happened. And you're just kind of like, wait a minute, that's not at all what I thought was happening. At the time, I thought something different was going on, and when you get into the future a little bit, if this makes sense, like hindsight, you're looking back like, wait a minute, that's not at all what I thought was happening at that point. There's kind of an upset here. Peace. You got peace again. Yay, both sides got peace. The relationship and the single. Something is upsetting you. I'm getting that right off the bat. Because I feel... My first thought is something, you're looking back on something and it's not what you thought it was. in the history of this situation, I feel like you're looking at something and you thought you knew exactly what it was. You judged it for what it was. I feel like this is a normal thing humans do. Like when you're presented a situation, you have to make a judgment to what you're going to do next. Like judgment happens. People judge things. This is how life works. I think people get bent out of shape between I don't think people like to be condemned for their actions, but judgment happens all the time. So like when people say don't judge me, I'm thinking that really should come off don't condemn me for like what I've just done. I don't know why I'm going down this road, but I just feel like judgments happen constantly. You judge whether you're going to go to the grocery store or not. You're going to judge which way to go at the stop sign. You know what I mean? You're making judgments constantly. People do. It's condemning things or feeling like things are, you know what I mean? People are being condemned for their actions when they could change. I don't know why we're going down that, but I feel like you made a judgment in the past, and I feel like you're finding out that what you made a judgment on was not exactly what was really happening. So you didn't condemn the situation because you're open enough right now to see the truth about what's going on with it. But you had like a judgment. You made a judgment of how to move forward based on what you thought was happening. I don't think that's a bad thing. Like that's how life works. You didn't condemn it because you wouldn't be open to thinking about it now if you did condemn it. So I wouldn't beat yourself up about it if you're looking back like feeling bad that you judged a situation. That's a human thing. You make judgments. That's how you make decisions going forward. You have to make a judgment to create a decision. All right. I don't know why I'm beating that to death. But you got the 5 of Wands. In your thoughts, like it bothers you. Because I feel like it bothers you kind of like you misjudged something. You're human though. I mean, based on what you were seeing, based on what you knew, you made the best judgment possible. And I think this, again, I know I'm beating this to death, I don't know why, but you did not condemn it because you would not be open to thinking about it now if that was the case. This is how life moves forward. I don't feel like it's that devastating, but I feel like you're taking it very seriously because it seems like it bothers you very much. And I feel like you're looking at something, you're seeing somebody in a different light now. But I'm also noticing the Magician here in the environment with the Beauty card. So it's not easy to pull the wool over the eyes of a Gemini, in my opinion. But I'm getting something about this card, these two together especially, like, I feel like this person is seeing how they're coming off. They're seeing with their actions, and maybe they are a little bit manipulating. Or a little bit manipulative, if I want to go that far. They're seeing themselves the way other people are seeing them. And I feel like this is one of the reasons this is coming forward, but I'm also getting like the Magician can be a manipulator. You got to be careful with this energy. Can be good, can be bad. Really depends on what's going on around the situation. So take this with a grain of salt, but see, this person knows how you're viewing them. And I feel like this is why they're pulling forward some information so you see them differently. This is important to be aware of, especially if something's coming towards you and you're feeling bad about previously made judgments. Realize this person knows how you were viewing them and wants to change that view and is using what they can at their disposal to change your perception of them. Be aware of that. Not saying they're good, bad, or indifferent. I'm just saying pay attention to that they're very aware of how you were viewing them, and they have worked to change your mind about how you view them. Now, I'm getting the Peace card here. I'm also getting the 3 of Cups at the top, but there's a lot of hidden elements. What I'm getting here with the 3 of Cups at the top is like, it's not like you don't want to like this person, but I feel like what they're doing is they're using like a community effort, like they're getting other people to help them change their mind, change your mind about them, change what you're viewing for them. And I feel like there's a community effort here. So either they're having other people come towards you and saying they're not that bad, or they're getting involved in your life a little bit and they're finding out this and that about you. So be careful. Take it with a grain of salt. I'm not convinced this is a good energy, but I'm not convinced it's a bad energy either. But I am convinced that this energy, if this reading is hitting with you, this person is actively working to create a different perception, to change your perception of them. They're actively doing this. They're actively doing that. For good or for bad, you take that any way you need to at this point at least. I'm not really sure how I feel about it right now. I'm like, this feels a little weird. Because what I'm seeing here in the center is you're looking at how things have been with this person. And I feel like you're looking at like things that you've seen them do or you've experienced with them, and you're reevaluating past experiences. And it's the Five of Swords saying they may have good excuses for this, that, and the other thing, but it's also kind of like you're not feeling really over the moon about it still. It's kind of like the Five of Swords is like, well, it may validate certain situations or may explain why they acted here and there this way or that way. But the Five of Swords is a fruitless win. It's kind of like, all right, maybe how I felt about them in the past isn't quite correct. But maybe that doesn't change how I'm going to treat them or how I'm going to deal with them. And I feel like that's where you're standing. You're just like, all right, maybe this explains how they've been in the past. Maybe this explains that. But I'm not really sure I'm going to change my relationship with them in any sense. You know, what it has been is maybe how it's going to stay this way anyway. I may see them in a better light, but I don't know if it's going to change how I connect with them. Because this is somebody who wants to be in your life. And I feel like this is why this is happening. They have decided that you should be in their life. You know what I mean? They should be in yours, whatever. But you're not... I feel like you are willing to look at the past and like, yeah, I'll think about it. Maybe I judged that a little harshly. Maybe I did. But I don't know if that's going to change where we're going with this. You have the Ace of Swords where you're standing, putting a lot of serious effort into this. Because I feel like you got it. You're just like, wait a minute. Like, everything... Like, there's a lot of excuses here. I feel like there's a lot of excuses here. And I feel like you're catching into that. And you're just like, let me think about this. You got the Two of Wands face down, and it's upside down, is how, because this fell out of the deck, by the way. I feel that what they're saying is you're having a hard time changing your opinion, but you're reviewing and you're thinking about things, but you're not really changing your opinion about this person. You may agree that, you know, maybe there's good excuses for the way they've acted in the past, but it's not. It's again the fruitless win. It's not changing how you want to relate to this person. It's not really doing that. You got a lot face down here. There's a lot going on here. I feel like even though you're getting a lot of information from this person and they're trying to change your opinion, you got a lot going on here. You're not really over the moon about the situation, even with the excuses or the new information. Let's do that. New information. Even with that, you're not really overly impressed. You got the Nine of Pentacles. You can see some good aspects here. This is very much Gemini, in my opinion. You may not be overly impressed, but you can see a lot of good things here. You can see where this could go well. You can see that too. But you also got the High Priestess. You're also then adding another layer, and you're like, all right, so what if it does go well? You know, how could it go well? If it goes well, how good could it get? But if it goes bad, how bad could it get? What's most likely to happen? Like if we get a mix of both of these, how is that most likely to happen? This is very Gemini to me, because you're seeing a lot of different angles here. But you also have hope here. And that might be the trump card for this whole situation. Even though the High Priestess is also here and she's a major arcana, I feel like because this is the last card, it's kind of trumping the situation. Maybe you're a little hopeful that this is better than it looks. And you'd like to be a little hopeful. You're not sold in 2 seconds, though. You're not going to be sold in 2 seconds. I just feel like you're not willing to just change. You're not willing to just change your mind about how it's been and changing things. But you are hopeful. You're like, you know what? Maybe I'll keep a better eye on this looking forward. Maybe going forward, let me see if I can have this little grain of salt and see what that produces going forward. Maybe I'll do that. You're hopeful going forward. Now, there are aspects of this person that you very much like. But the kicker here is the face down card is trust. It's not there. I'm getting the trust is not there with this person. There are aspects you like a lot about this person, whatever that is. But the trust, and you're just kind of like, you know what? That's another reason I feel like you're having a hard time changing your opinion. Is because like it's all about the trust. Yeah, there's a lot of good information coming, new information coming, and maybe I misjudged something, maybe. But I'm not, like, I don't feel like you're comfortable, like, oh, I definitely should look at this person differently. You're not feeling they're very trustworthy yet. I feel like you wanna give it a shot and see like let's see where this goes. Because if I can find myself in a position where I feel like I can trust this person, that'll make the difference. So you're watching going forward. This feels very detailed. Very detailed for the people who it feels very detailed. So you're going forward. Now you'll notice you have the Two of Pentacles. This one's upright. You see, you had the Two of Wands upside down, like you didn't want to change your view. You're having a hard time changing your opinion. Even considering the new information, you're having a hard time changing your opinion. But as you keep going forward, and I feel like as time is going forward, and it depends on you how much time has to go, you're kind of like, you know what? Maybe this is worth another look. Because I feel like you're excited about being around this person. You're enjoying time with this person, and you're considering left and right. Is this a good idea? Is it not? Maybe there's better here. Maybe you're coming to a spot where you're willing to consider changing your mind. But if you weren't already thinking this, hopefully this reading is bringing it forward. This person is actively looking to change your opinion of them. They're on best behavior, which is good and bad. They're on best behavior, though. So you have to look at this. You have to be very keen with this. You have to look at this very sharply. And I feel like you are. You're looking at the details. And it's almost like a little leaf blowing by the window. Sometimes that's the little pieces of hint. You know what I mean? Like that's how quick these hints fly by, like a leaf flying by the window. Like if you're not paying attention, you can miss it quickly. And you know what I mean? You have to absorb it when it's happening and like really think about what's happening. Because I feel like you have to be very perceptive, very sharp, to really kind of look at this like, is this true? Are they just really trying to like pull the wool over my eyes? Which is not easy. But this one's a strong one. It's not, because it's not easy doesn't mean it can't be done. Just keep that in mind. I find that's the biggest hang up with people when they get overconfident and they think somebody can't get one up over them. Just be careful, because this is a good one. This is a good one. I'm just saying. Just because it's difficult to do doesn't mean it can't be done. Keep a sharp eye on it is all I'm saying. Because where this is going next is you are going to start really connecting with this person is what I'm getting. And I feel like you're going to really start falling for this one. Keep a sharp eye on it, though. See the truth of it. This person is actively looking to be in your good graces. That doesn't mean that's a bad thing. I feel like that the proof here, I feel like for the people this is really connecting for, if you can find this person's ex-partners and get to know them a little bit and maybe pick their brain a little bit, if that's at all possible, or get a little extra information, I feel like you'll find out what this person is really like. So they may be on best behavior with you and trying to change your opinion of them, but I feel like if you're able to get in contact with their past partners or get some information there, you'll find out what's truly happening. You'll see it for what it is. Any type of falseness will be very apparent at this point. I feel like that's what you want to do if you can. If you can. I know that sounds really, it can be a little bit, I know it can be a little bit distasteful for obvious reasons, but what I'm getting, like, if you want the truth, that's where the truth would be. Up to you if you want to go get it. I guess that's the best I could say. All right, anything else? All right, I think we're done. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James, the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.